What I love about The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe is that it doesn't tiptoe around its message. It steps right out of the trees, bold, steady, and shows you what redemption looks like when it becomes flesh and bone, or in this case, fur and roar. And it hits you, not as make-believe, but as something honest dressed up as a fairy tale. Some stories talk about sacrifice. This one lets you feel the cost. 4 kids escape the chaos of World War II and end up in a quiet house in the countryside, the kind of place where boredom feels guaranteed, until Lucy opens a wardrobe and walks into a world frozen on purpose. A world stuck in winter, a world waiting for a ruler who's been silent for too long, a world where a wrong decision can echo louder than you think. Lucy discovers wonder, Edmund discovers temptation, and the witch watches them all. It's simple on paper, classic in structure, and still one of the cleanest invitations into fantasy I've ever seen. But underneath the talking animals and snowy landscapes, there's a deeper story at work, one that's been speaking to people for generations. The tone of the movie is exactly what this kind of story needs: steady, sincere, and patient. It doesn't rush the magic, and it doesn't rush the meaning either. The world feels handcrafted. The snow, the lamppost, the crunch of the forest floor, everything has intention behind it. You can tell the filmmakers trusted Lewis enough not to overcomplicate what was already strong. The kids carry their roles with real emotion. Lucy brings this quiet honesty that grounds the whole film. And Edmund, you feel a weight on him from the start. His frustration, his insecurity, it all feels lived in, not exaggerated. Peter and Susan step naturally into that older sibling mix of responsibility and worry. It's a storybook come to life without losing its heart. The performances deepen everything. Georgie Henley brings pure, believable wonder. Skandar Keynes plays Edmund with just enough tension that you understand his choices. And Tilda Swinton gives the witch that cold confidence that doesn't need volume. It's the quiet villains that make you sit up straighter. Then there's Aslan, voiced by Liam Neeson. Not loud, not theatrical, just present. Every scene with him carries a kind of weight you don't get with most CGI characters. The visuals hold up. The stone table, the battles, the witch's castle. All of it feels built to serve the story, not distract from it. And beneath all that craft, the film keeps reaching for something deeper, something Lewis designed from the start. Now here's where the heart really shows. People love to say Narnia is a retelling of Jesus and the cross. And sure, the echoes are loud, but Lewis never meant it to be a one-to-one remake. He called it a supposal, as in, suppose there was another world, suppose it needed redemption, suppose God stepped into that world, what would that look like? And suddenly, Edmund's betrayal isn't a reenactment, it's a mirror. Because every one of us has chased comfort over truth at some point. Every one of us has taken the easier voice over the wiser one. And Aslan stepping in, that's where the deeper magic comes alive. Not symbolic, not metaphorical, just a picture of costly love, the kind that doesn't avoid sacrifice, the kind that chooses it. C.S. Lewis once wrote, "Love is something more stern and splendid than mere kindness." That's Aslan. That's this story. A love with a backbone. A love that restores what guilt broke. A love that doesn't hide from death. It walks straight through it. Not a retelling of the gospel, but absolutely an echo strong enough to wake something in you. So, is The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe still worth revisiting today? Without question. It's not perfect. A few effects show their age, but none of that touches the heart of the film. This story has purpose. It has weight. It has a clarity most modern fantasy avoids. If you want something loud and forgettable, sure, there are plenty of options. But if you want something that actually means something, that reaches past the surface, this is one of the rare movies that still delivers. Every time I come back to this story, it reminds me of more than childhood wonder. It reminds me of what grace actually feels like. And maybe that's why the story hits me the way it does. It reminds me of the grace I've received and how redemption never shows up quietly. Reading the book to my kids before we ever watched the movie, that time stays high on my list as a dad. There's something powerful about sharing a story that whispers the kind of hope you want your children to carry into the world. Funny how a wardrobe, a snowy forest, and a lion can echo a truth that's been shaping my life long before I ever stepped into Narnia. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more reviews. Until next time, trust the thaw, embrace the return, and always stay rated.